So we are ready now for a report regarding TxDOT's progress on Gulfway Drive roadway, and this has been actually requested by council members Holmes and Kinlaw, and it will be in combination to number 3, that is in Roman numeral 3 on petitions and communications. Please state your name.
Mayor.
She like to say something.
I'd like to.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you, sir, for being here. I asked that this be placed on the agenda because we have had Gulfway Drive has been in the process of being worked on for some time. The process began and it stopped. I've had a number of citizens call me concerned about that. It is a major road in the city of Port Arthur, and we are extremely concerned, and my constituents are extremely concerned about the roadway, and there are no dividing lines in some area of Gulfway, and there are a number of people that travel that road, and so we really need to know what, number one, when you're going to get started again, and what is the anticipated completion of that. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Councilman Kinlaw.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And I put it on here last time, if you guys remember. I remember both of you, your face especially. But, you know, my concern here, when I put it on there last time, I was asking about the continuation of the project. And they said they had a staging area, they had working schedule, they had people out there. To find out they didn't. And they hadn't worked on Gulfway since. And I think it's almost a year, or right at a year now. So my concern is, you know, when I saw this that was going to be placed on the agenda, I wanted to make sure that we have a definite, because we owe this to the citizens of Port Arthur about, you know, the timeline and, you know, expectation of this job. It's taken a very long time. So,
Okay, Councilwoman Moses.
Yeah. You probably should have added my name to it. I called the manager about, I think about 6 weeks ago. I was riding down Gulfway and picked up the phone and asked, where were we? I didn't see anybody working. And so I should have joined in with council member, because it's a concern, I think, for the whole council, because it's just really ridiculous. It'll tear up your whole car driving down Gulfway, and for us to have to wait, and you all started the project. I'll let you probably give an explanation. Maybe I'll rebut it, but I too, am very concerned about Gulfway Drive not being completed and having it in that state, to start it and then to stop it and leave us in this state. Okay.
Excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem Frank.
Let me just say that for those who are watching and those who are here, Highway 87 is not our road. Let me say that very quickly, because I'm getting all these calls of why aren't you all fixing Gulfway Drive. Gulfway Drive is a state highway, so we're not responsible for Gulfway Drive. It is a highway, so I wanted to put that out there.
Councilman Marks.
Well, I was going to wait until the presentation was over, but since the mayor called me, I'll go ahead and say what I've got to say. We are concerned as citizens. My main concern right now is that there are rumors out there in the ethos that monies that were allocated for this have been allocated to somewhere else in the county. So we really need to get that cleared up. So, okay.
Okay, well, as the mayor, I'd like to speak on that. In my recent travels to Washington, I was even, I had the opportunity to ask a question about TxDOT programs. As Councilman or Mayor Pro Tem said, a Highway 87 is a state highway that happens to pass through our city. But because of the positioning of the highway, and there is an obligation that the state agency, which is Texas Department of Transportation, has, and not that the U.S. Department of Transportation can dictate what you should do. They did inform me that there were some avenues that we could take to contact you, because being mayor of this city, sir, I am embarrassed to be a Texan when I know that the state of Texas has done us this injustice in this city. I supported and embraced your presentation on this idea about a year ago, if I recall correctly, and how the work would progress. It hasn't. No one here, the city manager, nor myself, has been informed that you all would not be able, okay, to do it in the manner in which that you said you were going to do it. So we just want you to know before you give us the presentation, please, sir, as you are a representative of the state agency in the state of Texas, we're not going to kill the messenger, but we don't want a message that's a pack of lies. Okay? So if you have that, you can excuse yourself from the room. If you're going to tell us the truth and let us know, all we want to know is when will you return. We don't need a lot of jargon. Okay? We don't need a lot of excuses because you told us, okay, and when I'm saying you, I'm talking about your agency. You collectively told us through a presentation as to how this work would be performed. And as I represent the citizens of the city of Port Arthur who have put up with the disrepair of one of our main corridors and a main artery, a city that has a population of black and brown individuals, I feel at this point there has been and there is being some prejudicial thoughts in this. And I know that they're listening to this all around the world. But I stand firmly, sir, if you're getting ready to speak and take up my time with a lot of jargon, I will ask you to leave. Is there anywhere in your presentation and you can tell us when you all are going to begin?
Mayor Barty.
Let me have
No, just let him answer.
Sorry.
Let him answer.
y'all talk.
Let him answer, Councilman.
Wait a minute,
Let Councilman. Let him answer,
You all
please.
talk,
Okay,
let me
Councilman.
talk.
I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call
Let me
you.
get-
Let him answer, Councilman. Go ahead, sir.
Well, Mayor Barty and council members, thank you for allowing me to speak. I am new in this position. I do not know what was spoken in the past. I apologize if there's some promises that were made that I do not know of. At this time, as y'all know, you know the project limits, pretty much from State Highway 82 to 69. We did mill off all the pavement within the past year. We've done concrete repairs, pretty much double the concrete repairs. I believe that was done within probably around December. And what I know at this time is that we are doing some logistic issues with the contractor, trying to get sufficient pavement design to put back on the roadway. And it is very important because the mixture that we're putting on this roadway is a super paved mixture. It's a high performance mixture to allow heavy traffic, durability, and time. And I cannot give you a date. I apologize.
Okay, who can come before this august body and give us a date that the work will begin?
When we
That's the person we want to talk with.
Yes, sir. I do appreciate it.
Mayor, can I speak?
Okay, because he can't answer what I've asked.
Thank you. My concern is we all concerned about Gulfway Drive. The Mayor Pro Tem made it perfectly clear this is not Port Arthur Street that belongs to the state of Texas. So we going in circles. The people of this city depend on the council to get it handled. Okay, it's a Gulfway Drive for the state, but the buck stop with this council, it's in our city. So my mind thought is the city manager, city attorney, and legal should be handling that from here. They know who to call. We ain't got to be busting our brains up here, arguing with you, and the legal and the city manager should handle it from here. Contact, text dot, whoever should contact. It's not a council can't do anything about it except for the legal hand now to get this thing pushed through for the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Frank, your light was on.
Yes, sir. Now, I think what you just said to us, I'm sorry. I think what you just said to us was it had something to do with the mix, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It was shared with me that one entity is using that mix, and we are not being allowed to use the mix. That Gulf Coast was using the mix, and that another company is not being allowed to use the mix to do the highway. Do you know anything about that?
I believe that might be incorrect. The contractor that's doing this project is PTSS, and the mix that they're coming from PTSS, they're coming from the LD plant in Beaumont. It is not Texas Materials.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Go ahead, Councilwoman Moses.
Yes, sir. Of course. Let me. We know you said you're new, and basically, I think that TxDOT needs to send us someone that can really speak to our issue. I apologize that you've come and got caught into this. You said you're the messenger. So, on another level, if we could, our manager and maybe our legal department can stress what we are having to go on here. If there's a letter that can be written to show the displeasure that we have with the work that's being done, we need to get that done. If we could get someone that maybe is over you, a supervisor or something, you should not have to take this type of heat because we're putting the heat on. Of course, you can see it. It's not your job to take that.
Well, as Mayor Bartier, I am kind of representing TxDOT right now, and I do.
Well, I know
apologize.
you are, but I think that
answers for you.
Yeah, I know you said you're fairly new. Did you just tell me that? Did
Yes,
you say
ma'am.
that?
Yes, I
okay.
started in February.
No, sir. I apologize. I really think that someone else really needs to address us.
But as Councilmember Holmes said, if you do have an issue about striping or if there's some egress and ingress issues, please bring it to my attention. I can get some temporary striping out there because I do not want traffic to cross each other or anything like that. We can get that something done pretty quick. But I do want to guarantee whatever mix we put down, it is a super paved mix. I believe it's item 366. I can't remember. It's not a conventional mix like item 340 that we use.
Yes.
And I want to make sure with the mix we put down is a good mix.
Yes.
I do not want to give you all an inferior mix that's something that will oxidize and crack where we spend millions of dollars. So I do want to ensure that you are getting a good mix on the roadway.
And we appreciate that, and I thank you for your due diligence. But basically, we need a status report. We want to know when the street's going to be complete, how much time, what's your schedule, what's your operational schedule for Gulfway Drive. And so those are some of the immediate answers that I think this council is seeking. And you can't give us that. You said that you can't give us that. And anything else you're going to say past that, I just think our ears are shut off. Okay. And I appreciate you coming. But we need those answers, those questions answered as quickly as you can get them answered. And if we have to send a letter, we'll send it through our manager on behalf of our city council or our legal department, just stating that, we are unhappy with the progress of Highway 87. I don't know highways, it may be 82. I don't know what it is. I ride with my husband, so I don't know. It's 87? Okay.
Okay, Councilman Kinlaw.
Thank you, Mayor. I put this on last year. I'm gonna go right back to it, and we got the presentation, and they suggested that you wasn't here, but the gentleman, the engineer over there, was here. So now I'm hearing a different story. I'm hearing that the mix, it was never brought to attention that we were having some type of mix difference or it wasn't compatible in the last presentation. So this is something new, what you're saying today. You would like to say something?
Yeah, I don't know what was spoken in the last.
Well, he's right there. He's
okay.
right there. He can tell you. I mean, this should have been
worked
out before
right
you. I mean, he can tell you exactly what we talked about, and the funding was there. We talked about the man hours and the man working, the crews and all that, staging areas. We talked about the whole 9 yards. And what you're saying is something new, and I guess you can hear the frustration of my cohorts because now we're saying that you're talking about a mix. This can't be the first time we're talking about using this mix on a highway or a street that you have to negotiate or go back and find out if it's going to work on heavy traffic. This can't be the first time it happened. So I'm saying to you, if it's somebody, or how much time do you need to go back to your supervisor or somebody that could come before the council and give us an explanation, because I think we have been patient long enough with Gulfway Drive.
I appreciate Councilman Kinlaw. Let me go back to my my supervisor and our directors, and let me try to get a better answer of a timeline. Back to, I don't know what was discussed, but just the operations. It goes to milling, where you took off the mill, you go through the concrete repair, you go through the joint seal. This is the last phase of the contract. It's the overlay part. And, we just want to make sure, again, we want to ensure you get a good mix for that. And to do that process, we got to ensure that we get the quality material, meets all the specifications compared to the plans. And we just want to make sure we get you a good mix. Super paved mix it has a higher contact asphalt, has better grades of aggregates, so we want to make sure we get that to you.
Okay, Councilman Marks.
All right. Yes, sir. Again, going back to the intersections along Gulfway Drive, those are some really deep drop-offs. We have our constituents who are complaining about their front ends, their tires being ruined, coming off those things. You have to take your time to just ease off those things because of the steepness of the grade there. And what we're concerned about is the safety and the well-being of not only the council but our constituents. Those are the people that actually have to drive up and down Gulfway Drive, and it's been over a year. And we've I think we've been more than patient, but when I was told that there was a possibility that monies had been redirected from this particular project to somewhere else in the county, it speaks to the frustration of what the mayor was expressing, is that we were told one thing last year, and now we're hearing things, and you're here today, but we need somebody who has the authority to tell us exactly when is this project going to restart, what the time frame is, like Councilwoman Moses has asked about the scheduling, and when is that material going to be ready, because we know that there is material shortage across the supply chain all over the country, in fact all over the world because of the pandemic. But because this project started so long ago, we felt like, and we were told that it was going to be started and finished before this year. And now here we are in the summer of 2022, and there's another delay. So that means that our community has to drive down this unpaved street that's graded, and it's really frustrating. And I know that there's work going on elsewhere that in the county that we see on a daily basis as we travel. And so please, with the city council, with the city manager or our city attorney, and have someone come to us as soon as possible with that information so that we can share it with our citizens.
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Holmes.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
Sir, I just want to say thank you for being here. I know that you said you can't give us dates on beginning, on completion, but you did say that you can address those safety issues. And I'd like to ask, because I did with Councilman Kinlaw, put this on the agenda, ask that within the next 2 to 3 weeks that someone from TxDOT address all of the safety issues on Gulfway Drive, because that is certainly something that can be done. We may not be able to get the paving done, but we should not have safety issues in our community. We don't deserve that.
Yes, Councilman Holmes. Oh, sorry.
Excuse me, I'd like to revisit this again. I don't want it to be that TxDOT has found a minority community that they will do this to. And I don't want them to think that they can do it and we'll just sit idly by and not do what we can to be sure that the citizens here are compensated for this inconvenience that they are actually imposing upon our community. We thank you all for all you've done. I thank you for coming. And I think I said earlier, I'm not trying to kill the messenger, but I want the message to be right so that it will be what needs to be said. You know, take this back to your superiors also. If a crew of 3 or 4 folk were working each day and they weren't covering over 20 yards of the highway every other week, would have been better than nothing that we've seen in the past 5 to 6 months. Okay?
Yes, Mayor Bartee.
And I think they will understand what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Because if they lived on Gulfway Drive, or if they lived in Port Arthur, they would know what we feel. And what we feel is what I've expressed. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We
Mayor
thank
Bartee.
you.
I appreciate it.
All right.
I do like to mention, Councilmember Marks, the funding. We're not going to reduce funding. The funding's allocated for the project, so the project will be finished. So that I do guarantee that.
But you see this idle time and nothing happening there,
Yes, sir.
all ideas become perfect solutions to why it's not happening. That's why that can fester, or anything that any person here or even in the audience could come up with, because they haven't seen anything being done. And no one can think in recent or past performances of TxDOT in Port Arthur, Texas, that something as deplorable as what is happening now happened. And we know we don't want that.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
I agree.
We appreciate you. Councilwoman Moses?
Quick, City Manager, it's not for you. Thank you so
Okay.
much. City Manager, have you spoken with TxDOT or had a conversation with them?
Not at the Austin level. I think I've reached out to Dave and at the district level. Yes.
Okay, but can you reach out to on our behalf
Yes, we'll continue the dialogue at the district level and
at
take
the
it up.
district?
Tell you
Take
what,
it up a little
Councilwoman.
higher.
Yes.
Okay,
Councilwoman,
thank you.
I will in the morning. I will call the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who is in Jefferson County. I will call our state senator as the mayor. No, I'm going to call as the mayor of the city of Port Arthur. Not saying I'm bypassing the city manager, but I will call so that they can call the folk there, because this is what I was told in D.C. that needs to happen. And the way I expressed this was what I have told it has to happen, because it has moved to this point.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Both of you working very diligently to make this happen. I would appreciate
No,
it.
all of us.
Everybody.
If any of
Thank
you
you.
can call. If any of you can call. No, it's true. If we need to have them, because the citizens are looking at us. And it's deplorable. But it's not you. I think you're a real nice gentleman, man. Okay, and your homeboy over there. I think you're all the cool guys.
I appreciate Mayor Bartee. Councilmember Holmes, can you please give me some time to talk to our district
right
engineer before you escalate so much higher? Let me talk to our district engineer. Let me get you a timeline. Let me get you some dead hard dates, and we can go from there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
2 weeks.
I don't know about that. Let me try to get with you.
But the
Yes,
safety
pressure is on.
issues will be
Before the
taken
first
care of.
hurricane?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, before the hurricane.
But the safety issues will be taken care of in
That was
2 weeks.
Yes, that is. We're going to definitely look at that. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all. Okay. There isn't a public hearing, and would there be any items from